Hello, welcome back to the Digresor. Before I begin, I have a few announcements. They're not small announcements either. Okay, first off, I have a new computer. I bought my last one, the one I've been using up until a couple years ago. I used my tax money. I spent $1,000 on a gaming computer. Up till then, I'd been spending $100 on Dell computers and having to replace them every couple of years. Finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend some more money on a good computer. Have it actually work. And best computer I've ever had. So, I have a friend who asked me if I still wanted that computer. The reason he asked will become clear in a minute. And I said, I still want it. Why do you ask? And he said, I have a laptop that I don't want. That might make things easier for ya. And I was like, alright, let's do it. And last night we swapped. I gave him my gaming PC and he gave me his laptop. It was a fair trade because my computer was over 2 years old. $1,000. He just bought this laptop like a month ago. It was like $700. So I guess it about evens out, and it does pretty much the same thing my computer does, and it's more portable, which is going to be very important here soon because of my other announcement. This is actually my first episode to record on the laptop. I'm actually in a different position. Normally, because of where my computer is situated, I'm having to sit on the edge of my bed, leaning forward to talk into my microphone, and it's very uncomfortable. Now I'm laying down on the bed next to the laptop, and it's a little more comfortable. But this setup is only going to last for an episode or two because of my second announcement. No, my recording position was not my other announcement. That's just observable. My second announcement, I've actually announced this on Twitter. On June the 9th, yeah, that's already passed. June the 29th, which is not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. Currently I'm in Ohio. I will be moving to San Francisco. And that is not the only announcement to do with that. That is exciting in and of itself. But the other thing is that, well, first off, Emory, that's San Francisco is where Emory lives, and they will be on this podcast more often because I will actually be moving in with Emory. So, yeah, they'll be on the show more often. And not only that, in regards to my other podcast, Fig Tree Reborn, the podcast, in our second episode, Nadia said that she was hoping that she was currently unemployed and was waiting to get into some classes, and those were a long ways off, and she was going to do the podcast until it happened. Well, a couple days after the episode aired, those things happened. So Nadia will not be able to be on the show anymore. And I went to Emory kind of freaking out, like, oh no, what are we going to do? I did all this promoting and I created all this stuff and now there's no podcast. And Emory was like, I'll be co-host. So, Emory's going to be my new co-host on Fig Tree. So, that podcast is taking a brief hiatus. We're basically just going to wait till I move there and then start recording. So this episode, as I announced in my mini-sode the other day, is going to be about E3, which ended yesterday, E3 2021, and I probably did this the wrong way. I'm starting to regret the way I did this. I decided to avoid pretty much all of the announcements until now. Do a kind of live reaction. The exception is the Nintendo Direct. I watched that. Like, I literally set an alarm on my phone so that if I was asleep, I would wake up and watch it. But I literally woke up like 2 minutes before the alarm. I woke up and I'm like, what time is it? Exterminate! Yeah, that's my tone on my alarm tone. I did a really bad Dalek. Actually, hang on. Let me go away. Right. Here is, if it loads. Exterminate! Exterminate! Yeah, that's my alarm tone. It jolts me awake. Not in that form, because that's me going to the Zedge app and just hitting play. In alarm form, it is really loud. But I woke up like 2 minutes before that, and I'm laying in bed thinking, I'm awake. And all of a sudden, exterminate! I'm like, oh, right! And I like zoomed over to Twitter, and I got there like right as they were. It said that was the Nintendo News and Updates Twitter account, and it was posted. It said like 21 seconds ago, and I was like, oh, just in time. So I watched that, but I don't know anything else that was announced at E3 because I was waiting to do like a live reaction here. I actually pulled up the Wikipedia. I don't know. I dropped my phone. The Wikipedia article for E3 2021, and I scrolled down to the featured games section, and I'm just gonna go down the list because I don't know how to plan episodes. As I was sitting down to record this, I was literally thinking, I probably should have been following along so I know what I'm talking about beforehand. Because, yeah, if I had known in advance, I could probably have things planned like, oh, my thoughts on this game or whatever. But okay, let's go. Feature games. Starting with Bethesda. Elder Scrolls Online. Fallout 76. Yeah, I really should have been following along because those games are kind of already out. I'm guessing they announced DLC or something. Let me see. Let me go to the Elder Scrolls 6 thing. Actually, I'm going to do a page search for 2021. I'm guessing. Okay, there's 21 results for that. It's the first one says PS5 and Xbox Series X and S released June 15th, 2021, which was 2 days ago. So I'm guessing they announced that was a thing. Yeah. It was released on the next-gen consoles. Let's see. Anything else? I'm guessing... Wait, I see fall 2021. Deadlands, which I think I have heard of that. I don't think that is new. I don't see anything else. Okay, so let's look at... What is this? It's Elder Scrolls. Let's look at Fallout 76. What was announced for that? I'm guessing it's the same thing. Next gen. 2021. Not 31. 21. There's 3 results. And nothing from June. So, I have no idea what was announced. Okay, third thing from Bethesda. Redfall. I don't know what that is. And it just opens up Arcane Studios Wikipedia. So let me scroll down through history. I really should have researched this beforehand. Yeah. Wait. Games developed. Let's see. Redfall is on the list for 2022 for Xbox Series X and S. I have no idea what it is. I have nothing to go off of. It doesn't say what it is. It's just listed and a date. Okay, next year, if the podcast is still around and I do an E3 episode, I am going to follow along. Okay, so it is the next day. Like, not even the next day. It's the next day after that. It's been over 24 hours. Because I recorded that on Wednesday, and now it's Friday. So, yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I said that I was going to post it that night, but something came up. Yeah, so while I was recording, I actually recorded for like 5 minutes after the part I just cut, but the rest of it was just me going down the list and going, I don't know anything about this, I don't know anything about that. No, it's just really boring. I left in what I left in to get an idea of what it, like, this is how bad the episode was. So, yeah, it got worse. So, but then, Emery messaged and we ended up video calling and just talking the rest of the night, had an awesome conversation, and Emery is always more important to me than everything else, so that's what came up. And then, so I tweeted last night and said, something came up, I'll do the episode tomorrow. And then, supposed to work 9 to 5 today. Normally I work in the night. I usually work 5 to close, which is 1 a.m. So that's why I only podcast on my days off, because I'm free. But I know I get off at 5, so I'm thinking, oh, I'll just do it when I get home. I'll be free. But we had a no call, no show, so I had to stay until 9. And we were very busy yesterday. Well, today, technically. I mean, it's 5 in the morning, so it's technically yesterday, but yeah, you know what I mean. And I walked home. It's 2 miles. I was very tired. And I fell asleep as soon as I got back. And I woke up around 1 a.m. And then I tweeted again, like, crap! This is why I don't announce my episodes in advance. Okay, so for the rest of the episode, what I'm going to do is, because I went through the list and I started to watch some of the trailers and I started to take notes so that I could record in one take. But then, like, I started looking at some of the reviews I'd written and they're like, this game looks interesting. This game is kind of meh. And okay, so what I'm going to do for the rest of this episode is I'm going to watch a trailer for something and then immediately record my reaction. I mean, it's not a live reaction. It's not an initial reaction because I've already seen some of the trailers. But I don't, like, right now, like, if I were to go through, I don't remember much of any of them. Because it's all of them all at once. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to start with, well, I mean, just real quick, right off the bat, I was right about the, I've got to open the E3 thing again. Let's see. So I was right about the Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. It is basically just a port to the new gen consoles, but there is new content coming to both of them. But I don't. I mean, I own both of them and I have played them and I like them both, but I'm not active enough on them to actually really care, you know. So I I was like, cool, good for those players. They're going to have some fun. I don't really care right now. I mean, eventually I probably will go back into those games. It's just at the moment I'm not able to. So, but I will pause, and I watched the trailer for Redfall, and it's not what I was expecting. I do remember that one because I had something else in mind. I forgot that it was a Bethesda game, so I wasn't taking that into consideration. I don't know what I don't remember what I thought it was gonna be. I was thinking kind of like a Gears of War, Call of Duty type game, a game called Redfall. I don't know. It's kind of like Fallout with vampires. That's what it looks like. It has a feel like the Saints Row, Agents of Mayhem type feel, but uh, it was a cinematic trailer. There was no gameplay footage at all, so I have no idea what the game is going to be like. But it's a Bethesda game, so I'm going to go with Fallout with vampires. Final answer. Now, speaking of Bethesda, they finally did an actual trailer for Starfield. But again, it was a cinematic trailer, and we got no gameplay footage. So I couldn't find any gameplay footage. I looked. I didn't do like a thorough search. I literally looked for like 2 minutes. So if there's gameplay footage, I didn't see it because I figured something like that would be a big deal, and it would be one of the first results. I saw some fan-made videos. If it's not like IGN or directly from Bethesda or like some Kotaku or something like that kind of channel. If it's like Bob's Gaming Channel or something like that, I'm not going to click on it because that's not how we're going to get that kind of footage. So I don't know if there's any gameplay footage. I don't know what kind of game it is. I get the appeal of a cinematic trailer. I really do. But I don't like them because it doesn't really tell me what the game is. Like, what is this gonna look like when I play it? Show me some footage of what it's like to play it. Like, when you go to, like, a game page on, like, the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, the eShop, and it shows screenshots of the cinematic cutscenes. Don't do that because that doesn't tell me what the game's like. So it has like fully rendered movie-like quality cutscenes, but then it's like a top-down real-time strategy game. No, they're just trying to trick me into buying your game. I mean, I know that Starfield and Redfall aren't going to be like that, but is it going to be first person? Is it going to be third person? Is there going to be RPG elements? I mean, it's Bethesda, so I assume, but I don't want to just assume and then be disappointed when there's absolutely no RPG elements at all. I mean, I'm sure closer, they're not going to not say that at all. It's like, hey, here's a name, because we've been saying it for years. We're not going to tell you anything about it. Just buy it and trust us. No, Bethesda, I don't really trust you anymore. I mean, I'm happy that Microsoft bought them. I know when it was announced that Microsoft bought Bethesda, a lot of people were groaning like, "Oh no, they're going to run them to the ground." Like, I'm pretty sure they did that on their own. If anything, Microsoft buying them was a good thing because now I'm pretty sure we're not going to get another Fallout 76 issue. Especially considering that they announced Creative. I want to say Creative Cloud. That's Adobe. Crap. What is it called? I forgot what it's called. Let me open the thing. That Capcom. Oh, I opened the wrong link. Let's see. Bethesda. What is it? I'm trying to find it. No, it's got to be here somewhere. Okay. This is. See, this is why it's important to. Why did it open Capcom again? I want Capcom. I want Starfield. Games developed. It's creative something, and I don't even remember what it's called. Why did. Wait, okay, Fallout 76. It'll say it on here. Creation engine. That is what I was trying. Creative Cloud is Adobe, and I get the two mixed up all the time. They announced Creation Engine 2 and for Starfield, and that's exciting because the game engine Fallout 76 was like one of their newest games, and the same engine to build that was the same one used to build Morrowind 20 years ago. So, yeah, it was time for an update. No, an upgrade. Actually, there is something I noticed in the trailer. I don't know how many people know this, but there's a thing, like, they were kind of limited on what they could do at Bethesda because their engine was so limiting. They were unable to show someone climbing a ladder because they didn't have the capabilities. That's why in like Skyrim and Fallout and everything, when you see a ladder and you look up and you got to climb this ladder to get to the surface of the sewer thing, it just like it cuts the black loading screen and now you're on the surface or something like that, because they were unable to show somebody climbing a ladder. Well, what's the first thing you see in this Starfield trailer? You see someone climbing a ladder. And I don't know how many people realize the significance of that, but when I saw that, I literally clapped and went, yes! Because this is the future of Bethesda. Like that, Microsoft buying Bethesda was a really good thing. So, I mean, I know they've made bad decisions in the past. Like, when they bought Skype, that was a really bad thing. Because I used Skype all the time back then. I think everybody did. Skype was like the one program I never had any issues with ever at all. And then Microsoft buys Skype, and at first, they don't go through and mess with it right away. It's it's still fine, but like a few months later, they start dipping their hand in it, and all of a sudden it starts crashing and it's loading issues and bugs and it won't load, and I have to uninstall and reinstall, and we got an update. So Microsoft isn't perfect. When they bought it, my first thought when I saw that Microsoft bought Bethesda was, this is a good thing. So again, with Starfield, as the same with Redfall, it's just a cinematic trailer, but it's better than nothing. All we got a couple years ago, they gave us a little teaser trailer. It's just the logo, and now we have characters. I don't know if those are going to be characters in the game or if it's just random people. Like in the initial GTA 5 announcement trailer, a lot of a majority of the people in those trailers were just NPCs. NPCs, not NPC. I keep saying NPC. Okay, but yeah, I'm excited for Starfield, and I want to learn more about Redfall before I decide whether or not I'm excited for it. It looks interesting, and Starfield, I'm thinking it's gonna be like Skyrim meets No Man's Sky, which sounds awesome. That would I kind of want to compare it to the Outer Worlds, Obsidian, but like at the same time, like Obsidian did New Vegas, and Bethesda's probably wanting to distance themselves, but it also kind of looks like they're copying. But I know Starfield's been in the work for I think they said 20 years or something, so they couldn't have copied, could they? I don't know. Now I can just knock a bunch off because I just went down the list a bit. Let's see. The Capcom section that I kept accidentally tapping when I was trying to tap Starfield. There's not one game on this list I'm actually interested in. There's the first one is the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I have a 3DS, and it came with a bunch of games installed, and one of them was Ace Attorney. I could not get into it. I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, it's so fun." No, I couldn't get into it. Apparently, there's a collection coming to consoles soon. And then there's Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Yeah, another series I'm not really interested in. I played Monster Hunter 3, I think it was, on the Wii. I was at a play-and-trade in Abilene when I lived in Texas, and I was looking for Wii games, and one of the people there was like, "Oh, you should try this game called Monster Hunter. It's like Pokemon, but for adults." I was like, "Oh, okay, that sounds cool." And I couldn't get into it. And then when Monster Hunter World came out, the roommate I was staying with, he had a PS3 and he bought it. He was a huge fan, and I tried playing it, and I got further into it. The furthest I've ever gotten into a Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter World. That one, it was decent. I didn't mind it too much. I wouldn't call myself a fan. I did stop playing after about a week, but it did keep my attention. It was a decent game. It wasn't bad. It wasn't for me. And I've seen the trailers for Rise, and I never even heard of the first Monster Hunter Stories. Now there's a second one, but yeah, I'm not interested. I mean, if I get a GameFly account again, I might try it, but I'm not looking forward to it. And then there's Resident Evil Village, which I'm not a fan of Resident Evil. I mean, I don't hate it. I liked Resident Evil 7. I didn't get too far. I got past the first area where I think your wife is after you, and you keep shooting her in the head, and she keeps coming at you, and she cuts off your hand, and it grows back because realism. and and then you get knocked out, and then you're in this house with the Texas Chainsaw family, and you have free movement, and you can walk around, and you gotta avoid them. And he I saw the dad character, and he ran at me, and then he killed me, and then I was okay, I don't want to play this anymore. And then the only thing I've seen about Village, the only thing anyone talks about Resident Evil Village is that tall lady. I mean, that's all I know about it. And then I've seen some footage, and all I've ever seen is, oh, there's the tall lady, and then I'm not really interested. And then going through a bunch more of games, the Gearbox software section, Godfall. I watched the trailer, didn't look interesting to me. Homeworld 3, yeah, it also didn't look interesting to me. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I didn't know what that was, and I looked it up, and I'm assuming it's a Borderlands spinoff. It kind of looked like Borderlands, and the feel of it was very Borderlands-y, and it's by the same people, so I'm pretty sure it's a spinoff. It might have even said so in the trailer, I don't remember. But it's got lands in the name, so. But it looked interesting. This is why I was saying, in the notes, it's this game looks interesting, not interested, blah. That's why I decided to just go through one at a time. But I might try it. I see a lot of these games. I wouldn't buy them. I would, even ones that I would want to play, I would wait till they're on sale. Ones like this, I would have to wait till they got down to There's times where I bought Borderlands 1 and 2, like the Ultimate Editions, for like $5 total because they were like very, very highly on sale. Like, probably not the way to word that. It was like on sale, like it's like an epic sale. It's like 90% off or something. And so I bought them, and then I think I bought Borderlands 3. I actually have a note with all my games in them, and I will look really fast, and I'm stalling, so I'm talking like this. Let me see, it's loading. I don't every Assassin's Creed. That's like a whole page, just Assassin's Creed. Okay. I have Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands the pre-sequel, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 2 Xbox 360. I own both versions. I don't know why. Borderlands 3 Super Deluxe Edition. So yeah, I own all of them except for the Telltale games. The game one. I didn't get that one. I don't know why. So if this Wonderland, actually, you know what? I could actually just look and see. Tap on the thing. Yeah, Wonderland is a standalone game based on the Borderlands universe, but taking place in a high fantasy setting shortly after the events of Tiny Tina's assault on Dragon Keep DLC for Borderlands 2. Okay. Yeah, but I was right. Like, I see. I'm not, like, the biggest fan of Borderlands. It's like, I like it enough that when I saw it was on sale, I'm like, might as well. And I've played them. I haven't beat any of them, but I played enough of each of them to be able to tell that was a spin-off, or at least related to it. It was Borderlands has a very distinct style, and if it wasn't by Gearbox, I would have been like, I see a lawsuit. And then there's the Seven Tribes of Midgard, which it doesn't have a link to a Wikipedia page, so I had to look it up. And it looks like a top-down strategy, and I don't like those. Microsoft Studios. Now these, I'm not... okay, so Forza Horizon 5. I'm not a fan of racing games. I don't really like, other than Mario Kart, I've never liked racing games. And then in 2016, I got Xbox for the first time. I got a 360 for the first time, and one of the free. I think the first month, I had games with gold, Xbox Gold. Forza Horizon 1 or 2 was free, and I was like, might as well grab it. I always grab all the free games on PS Plus and Xbox Gold, even if it's a game I don't have any care for and I never play it. I still grab it because you never know. Like, I might be into it later. There's been times where yeah, you know where I'm going. So one of them was Forza, and I was like, might as well. And I tried it, and I loved it. I was like, wow, this is. If you had told me it was an open world racing game, I would have been like, how is that going to work? And it does. And then I don't remember if it was Forza Horizon 1 or 2 that was free, but whichever one wasn't free, I bought. Because I liked it so much. And now, let's go back to that Xbox list. Let's go down to the Fs. Which ones do I own? Forza Horizon, Xbox 360. Forza Horizon 2, Xbox 360. Forza Horizon 2, Xbox One. Forza Horizon 3, and Forza Horizon 4. Yeah. Oh, and then Forza Motorsport 6, but only because that one was free 1 month. I don't like I guess that's considered the main series. The Forza Motorsport, that's an actual quote-unquote racing game where you have a track, and then when you beat that, you go to the next track, and then the next track, and it's I don't know. Those are just standard racing games, and they're all identical to me. I've played a bunch of racing games, and other than Drive Club, they're all identical. Forza Horizon is unique. I don't know if there's other racing games that are like that. I've never played them, and I look forward to. It's like the two series are every other year. Every year that ends on, I think it's an odd number, it's Horizon, and then the even numbers is Motorsport. This is what I've noticed. It's like every other year. So this year it's Forza Horizon 5, and then 2 years ago it was 4, and then in 2 years from now it's going to be 6. And I don't know what the current Motorsport is, but yeah, that would have been last year. Halo Infinite. I like the Halo series, but I've only played and beat the first one, and I didn't know there was a big story on it until I didn't play it until about 10 years ago. Before then, I just thought it was running around shooting things, and then I played it and I realized, oh, there's actually a good story here, and the way it ends, I was like really excited, and I bought the Master Chief Collection. Then never played it, and then I also bought. Okay, it comes with Halo 1 through 4, and then I bought Halo 5, and I'm probably going to buy Halo Infinite. I've only played the first one. Like, why am I doing this? I'm buying the entire franchise and keeping up with it, and I'm not even playing it. What's wrong with me? Microsoft Flight Simulator. I remember when, back in the 90s, when that was a big thing, and then I don't know if they stopped or if they're just rebooting it, like revitalizing the series, but it looks really interesting, and it was on Game Pass on PC, and I downloaded it, I put it on my gaming PC, but the problem is that it wouldn't work. I don't know why. It kept saying we have to install updates, and it was installing, and it would install it. It would install an update, some update thing, and then I would go to play it again, and then it would say, nope, need to update. I just updated you. And let's see, the announcement for this was for, oh, okay, that's kind of upsetting. Up till now, it's basically only been on PC, but now they've been saying, oh, we're going to release it on console soon, yay, but it's for Series X and S, not for Xbox One, so that's a little disappointing. Wait, okay, so something I forgot to announce, in between the first section that I was recording on this episode, and then when I took a break for like a full day, because I remember I said I started this by saying I'm moving to San Francisco, so I'm not taking everything. I am not taking my consoles. I'm only taking my Switch and my laptop and my microphone and like a few other things, but I'm like starting completely fresh when I go there. It's mostly so I don't have to spend so much to take everything. I can just start over. It'd be cheaper to just start over. And so I gave my Xbox One to a neighbor yesterday, and then today I gave, actually like about an hour before I started recording this, I gave my PS4 and TV to another neighbor. So I don't know why I'm so disappointed that that's not on Xbox One, because I don't even have one anymore. And when I do get another console, I'm probably just going to get the Xbox Series X and the PS5. So, yeah. Now, hopefully Nintendo announces the new Switch soon, and I'll get that. So, that's a thing. Okay, next on the list is... Wait, where'd it go? Where I was. Psychonauts 2. I've never played the first one. I know it's on Game Pass, and I've had every chance to play it. And I see it on the featured list all the time. And I'm like, I'm going to play that someday, and then I never do. It looks really interesting, and I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it, but what I have heard people talk is that it's really fun. And now there's a sequel coming out, so... But I don't even have a console so I can't even play it. Wait, what else is it on? If it's on Switch, I don't think it'd be on Switch because it's an Xbox. It's a Microsoft game. Let's see, platforms. Oh, it's on Linux, Mac OS, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. So it's on everything except mobile and Switch. Sea of Thieves. I remember when Sea of Thieves first came out, I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was a pirate game, and I was like, yeah, and I installed it. And I tried to play it by myself. You cannot play Sea of Thieves by yourself. It's not like Elder Scrolls Online where they encourage you to have a team of other friends playing to take on a dungeon. You literally have to have other people because it's not like because when I started playing it and I saw that it was you could sell. I'm thinking of like Assassin's Creed Black Flag where you push a button and it sells and there's like NPC sailors sailing it for you, and you just at the helm going, "Oh, that's starboard," or "That's Titanic." But you know what I mean? No, you have to physically have somebody at each station doing things like dropping the sails and like rowing and everything. It's really intense. I actually managed to get this ship going on my own, but it was really hard because like the winds picked up and I got off course and I kept having to run back and forth between everything. I think I hit something. The ship started to sink and I had to like get a bucket and take the water out, and like the water was rising faster than I can take it out, and then it wasn't until after the ship sank that I realized you're supposed to take wood planks and patch the hole. So I stopped playing. But I did see that there is an expansion coming to it for Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why it took them so long to think of doing that. Maybe it was they had to get the licensing agreement, and that's what took so long. I'm pretty sure that it didn't take them that long to think of that. But that is awesome. And then the next three titles on the Xbox Game Studios one is Fallout 76, Starfield, and Redfall. So, yeah, we've already covered that. Now on to the Square Enix section. It's not so much that I don't like Square Enix. I'm not big into the whole Final Fantasy thing. Okay, so like I liked Final Fantasy 15. That one was very different. I haven't played all of them. I've only played 7 because everyone's played 7. 10, 10 2, 12, and 15. And I played the most. The ones I played the most was 10, and I played 15. I played those two the most. So I didn't like in 10 and 10-2 they had like when the battle it would go to the turn based. I do not like turn based games. Those are boring to me. And so I was excited when I played. Someone gave me, it was a limited edition steelbook version of Final Fantasy 12, and I played it a little bit, and it was you can run around and actually attack in real time, and I was like, oh, that's different. I ended up selling it, and I figured I was I didn't realize how popular Final Fantasy was because it was, like I said, the limited edition steelbook of it, and I was trying to sell it for like $10 or $20 because I didn't think anybody would want it. Somebody was like, "I'll take 80. I'll give you 80 for it." I was like, okay, it's yours." It was in good condition too, so like I guess that's why. I said would even more. I was like missing there's like a booklet inside, and it was missing I didn't know there was supposed to be a book. But anyway, um, the games that they announced, there was Legend of Mana, which originally came out I think in the 90s, and they're re-releasing a remastered version on modern consoles. I've never played it. I know of it, and it was like a big influential game, but yeah, it's not my genre. Like I know it's important, but I I don't like when people like they don't like a genre or something. They're like completely dismissive of it. Like with stuff like Legend of Mana and like Final Fantasy and all that. It's not my genre. It's not my type of game. But I acknowledge how important they are and that they are a big deal. I just personally don't really care for them that much. And then I'm really excited about this next one. There's Life is Strange Remastered Collection. They're remastering the original game and its spin-off, Before the Storm. I loved the story of Max and Chloe, and I was hoping they would continue the story in Life is Strange 2, but it was technically a spin-off because it was new characters, but it's in the same universe because they pass the Acadia, I think it's called. I don't know. Whatever, Acadia Bay, I think it was called. And depending on whether you had it destroyed or not, it a pop-up just popped up. Dropbox just told me I can get more space if I click this link. I'm not even signed in, so how do they know how much space I have? Get 25 gigs of space free for 1 year. Oh, I don't want to. I'm gonna click out of this because I don't want to. Alright, so they're re-releasing the games remastered, and I read the description they basically altered it so that they fix the lighting and then the graphics and stuff, and it's going to better because it's remastered and it's really cool. But it's not just a remaster. There's a second announcement for Life is Strange, a third main game called Life is Strange True Colors, like the Cyndi Lauper song. And it's another original story with a new character, and her thing is let's see if I can find it. No, go away. The plot focuses on Alex Chin, a young woman who can experience the emotions of others as she tries to solve the mystery behind her brother's death. Now that just sounds awesome. And on the description on it, it says you can buy the remastered collection as a standalone, or you can buy True Colors Ultimate Edition, and it comes with the remastered collection. So that's what I'm probably going to do. I did buy the complete edition of Life is Strange 2, but I've only played the first 3 episodes. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know why I didn't finish it. It's not that it was bad or anything. It's just I just never got around to it. Okay, moving on. Marvel's The Avengers. I keep forgetting that Square Enix. It's so different from their other stuff. But apparently they're adding more characters. Black Panther and Spider-Man. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks really cool. I don't know if it's gonna be like MCU Guardians of the Galaxy or comic book Guardians of the Galaxy or an original Guardians of the Galaxy. Because Marvel's Avengers, they modeled them after the MCU characters, but they're clearly not MCU because the story is completely different. So I don't know if they're just because the character models for Guardians of the Galaxy look like the MCU Guardians of the Galaxy, but it might be an original story. I don't know. And then there's okay, so this is called Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, and I was reading the description and Wikipedia, kind of like the premise. I like the idea of it, even if I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy. Basically, it's like a few people from different dimensions get sucked into the Final Fantasy realm, and they're basically in the world of the first game. So, like the original Final Fantasy came out like 30 something years ago, like I think in the 80s, and it said that like a bunch of people from different dimensions. I think like the idea of Final Fantasy, like each game takes place in like a different world, like different universe. So, like they're not all connected. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think I read this somewhere where like each one's a standalone. So like they're not like a direct sequel. There's not like a Final Fantasy lore. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know. Uh, but like the premise on that. Actually, I'm just gonna read what it says. I can't find that. Stranger in Paradise is an action role-playing game in which players explore environments. Okay, no, go back. It is set in a dark fantasy interpretation of the setting for the original Final Fantasy game, with a group of people drawn into it from another world. The main character is Jack, a man consumed by the need to destroy chaos. Yeah, if you watch the trailer, you can tell like that's his main thing. Cause like several times in the trailer, he's like, "I only want to kill chaos," and it's like, okay, calm down a little. I don't know what he did. So I did an entire episode about how much I love Ubisoft. And so you can imagine how excited I was to see the Ubisoft presentation. For starters, you got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I pre-ordered that and I played it. I haven't played it in a long time. It's not because I didn't like it. It's because I got stuck. I was in Asgard and I couldn't go back to England. I had to complete the mission. It would not let me go back to England without finishing the mission, and I couldn't. It was you fight the wolf, and I finally killed the wolf, and I'm thinking, oh yay, I can finally go back to England and continue the game. But no, there's that builder person who's like, I didn't build this to keep the monsters out. I built it to keep you in, and he turns into like this giant beast creature thing, and I cannot beat him. I even lowered the difficulty to English to easy, and I still can't beat him. And apparently, I'm not the only one because, and I posted online like, "Hey, I can't do this," and people are like, "I know it's so hard. I can't do it either." And so, like, I don't feel so bad about it, but I can't. I haven't beat the game because I can't get past that part, and I haven't played it forever, and now I don't have the console, so I can't play it anymore. So, oh, they announced some DLC. Basically, there's like something in Paris, but anyway, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. It looks. I'm gonna try to stop saying, "Oh, it looks interesting," because that's like every game on this list looks interesting. But yeah, it does. I wonder why it took them so long to make an Avatar game. I mean, I know they're only doing it now because the sequels are coming out. But yeah, like I would have loved to play an Avatar game back when it first came out. Because yeah, but I mean now they could probably make an even better game than they could have made back then. But still, it looks really good, and I think it's an original story. I don't think it's based on a movie thing. Usually, when they try to make a game and turn a movie into a game, it doesn't turn out that well. And so it's always best when they take like the characters and the locations and stuff from a movie and make their own original story. That's usually it turns out better. Now, Far Cry 6. I am a huge fan of the Far Cry games. So let's go back to my list of games I own on Xbox. Let's see. I own Far Cry Classic, Xbox 360. Far Cry 2, Xbox 360. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, Far Cry 4 Gold Edition, Far Cry Primal Apex Edition, Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn. So I think that's all of them. I own all of them except for Far Cry 6, but that's not out yet. I have noticed something though. Ever since the third game, they've released like a spin-off, like a... Okay, so like there's Far Cry 3, and then there's Far Cry Blood Dragon, and then there's Far Cry 4, and then Primal, Far Cry 5, New Dawn. Now there's 6, and there's probably going to be like another spin-off in between, and then Far Cry 7. And they've been doing that, and I like it. It's really interesting. I like what they do. So, on my phone. So let's see. Just Dance 2022. I'm also a huge fan of Just Dance. I haven't played it in a while because I have a small room. I don't have room to do it. I wasn't thinking, okay? Leave me alone. When I bought my Switch, I bought Just Dance 2021, or I think it's Just Dance 2020. I don't remember. Let me look. I've got it over here. Yes, I have Just Dance 2020 on the Switch, and I haven't been able to properly play it because, again, small room. I didn't buy 2021, and now there's 2022, and I haven't really looked into it because it kind of depresses me because I can't play them. And you got Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I didn't play the first one because I don't know what Rabbids is. I know it's Ubisoft, and yeah, there's a Rabbids Easter egg in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, and whenever you first switch to Layla, and she's in London, in one of the rooms, you can see one of the Rabbids. It's kind of funny. And then this one's okay. This one and the next one I'm excited about. Riders Republic, and it's basically actually let me load the page for it. It's an upcoming sports video game. I'm not into sports. All right, let's go back to the thing. The 5 main activities available in the game include mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, wingsuit flying, and rocket wing shooting. And it's basically Steep, but different sports. Even though those sound like things that were in Steep. I have Steep. I like Steep. I didn't get very far. But this is like it's by the same people that made Steep, so it's technically like a sequel to Steep. And then the other one that I'm really excited about. Okay, so I think in like 2010, there's a game that came out called Rocksmith, and then 2014 they did like an updated version called Rocksmith 2014, and then they put it on modern consoles and called it Rocksmith 2014 Remastered, and that's the version I have. And I was learning guitar with it, and then a string broke, so I haven't been able to play it. And I was kind of confused. Like 2014, they are putting out new content for it, but why aren't they doing a sequel? Well, at E3 they announced Rocksmith Plus, which sounds awesome. I saw there's a trailer for it, like a little. It basically it's like following people around, learning guitar and stuff. It looks amazing, and I can't wait for it. So the next two, there's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, which I've never played. I played it. I have played it. I didn't like it. I liked it. I didn't like it though. Okay, I played the original Rainbow Six on Sega Dreamcast, and I loved it. It's the first is like a tactical ops type thing where you gotta like plan everything out. And it's I don't know, it's confusing because I'll say I don't like those real time strategy games where you gotta plan everything out. But then like I like Rainbow Six, the original, because it's a tactical game. You have to plan everything out. It's you had to be there, okay? Leave me alone. And so like it was very realistic and it was a very serious game, and I liked it. And then like as the series moved on, they became went further and further away from that. And then you get Rainbow Six Siege, which is basically Call of Duty, and now they've just I think they made a completely different game, and then realized no one was going to buy it, and then slapped Rainbow Six on the front on the cover just so it would sell, because Rainbow Six Extraction is not a Rainbow Six game. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if Tom Clancy wrote a book called Rainbow Six Extraction with this premise. This is not a Rainbow Six game. Because Rainbow Six it's set in like reality, and they have like real things, like actual missions you go on. And like it's set in the real world. Extraction is about a meteor falling to Earth, and suddenly there's alien zombies. And I legit got angry watching the trailer. Like, come on, this is not happening. I honestly think that they made a separate, a completely original game. Realized nobody was going to buy it, and was like, "What if we just call it a Rainbow Six game?" Oh, yeah, that's yeah. People will buy that if it has Rainbow Six in the name. I'm not. And finally, what I consider to be the main event, the thing everyone was waiting for and looking forward to, and the only thing I really heard anyone talking about leading up to the actual event itself, the Nintendo presentation. Because that's on Twitter, that's what everyone was looking forward to. Or at least on my feed, because everyone's Twitter is different depending on what you follow and interact with. Anyway, so it was so big, at least to me. It was the only thing I actually followed. Whenever I already told the story at the beginning of this episode, and I set an alarm. I woke up, actually before the alarm, and then I watched it live, quote unquote, on Twitter. Like almost the second it was. I think it was like whenever I opened it, it said 21 seconds ago. I was like, whoa! They literally just okay play. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Apparently, there's a couple games that came out on the Game Boy Advance like 20 years ago, and they're re-releasing them on Switch. I've never heard of them. They didn't sound familiar to me. Cruisin' Blast. Again, another franchise I've never heard of. Apparently, it's like an action-packed racing series that's coming to the Switch. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. They are releasing new DLC content. It's weird living in a world where Zelda games have DLC. What? But yeah, like, okay, so Age of Calamity is supposed to be a prequel to Breath of the Wild. And it's the story of what happened during the Great Calamity before Link got put into hibernation. So my question is, why is there DLC for this? Like, did you not tell the story the first time? You like sliding. I've never played it. I want to. How does it end? Does it end with Link going into the sleep chamber thing? Because if so, are you kind of like slipping in stories? Does the base game just kind of end, and then you pick up with expansion packs, and like, oh, we're continuing the story that we didn't finish, and then like the last DLC will end with him going in the sleep chamber. I I don't know how this works. I don't know their logic behind it. I just want to play it. I I don't I don't know. It's still very expensive right now. And it's okay, I'm gonna skip to the bottom of the list and work my way up because there's things I want to talk about that were actually next, and if I just follow the list, it's going to end on a low note. So let's go down to WarioWare. Get it together. I am not a fan of the WarioWare games. I think I'm the only one though, because like the first time I ever played one, I think it was on GameCube. I think it was. I think it was on GameCube. It might have been on Wii. I don't know, but one of those, I don't know. I had them at the same time, I think, and I played it, and I didn't. At first, I didn't understand what it was at the time. I just saw, oh, it's a Wario game. Okay, I don't know anything about Wario. I know he's like an evil Mario, and then it was just like you're given like 2 seconds to figure out what to do, and it's like a series of mini games, and you don't get a do over. You fail at this, you get 2 seconds to figure it out. You fail, move on to the next one. Like what? No, I want to try that again, and it was so boring. And then I played another one. There was like there's like a series of these things, the WarioWare games. I played them. I've never once have I enjoyed it. So moving on. Smash Brothers Ultimate. They added more characters, ones I don't know or care about. Mario Golf Super Rush. Again, I don't see the appeal of Mario Golf or really any of the Mario sports games. I had Mario Tennis on the, like I said, I had that 3DS. It came with a bunch of games pre-installed. Yeah, there was 2 WarioWare games. I didn't care about those either. There was a Mario Golf game, and then there was a Mario Tennis game. I couldn't get it either. I tried them. It's not like I automatically just missed them because of the title. I gave them a chance. I tried to like them, and I couldn't get into them. I don't see the appeal. Same with Mario Party. There's Mario Party Superstars. I think that one is like the collection of the most popular ones from the last like 25 years or so that they've been doing them. Which is like, I guess it's like a greatest hits. So I think, didn't they already do one like that? I don't know, but I'm not into that. But people are, so whatever. Metroid Dread. It was Metroid 5. It's the 5th mainline game. It's the side-scrolling platformer. I am excited. I love Metroid. I'm a huge fan of the side-scrolling one. I'm not too big of a fan of the Metroid Prime games. Because I first time I played one, I didn't know anything about Prime games. I just knew it was Metroid on Wii, and someone told me, it's a 3-dimensional game. It's not a side scroller. Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, and then like the game starts, and like Samus, you see her, and then like the camera pans around her, it goes behind and zooms in, and then you see what she sees, and I was like, no, 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 no! I went all Shia LaBeouf. I, I don't like Metroid in first person. It's a side-scrolling game to me. If it had been in third person, I probably would have been okay with it, but I don't know. It just feels weird playing Metroid in first person. But yeah, like I played Metroid Samus Returns, which is a remake of Metroid 2, and it was great. And I was reading an article that it took so long to make Dread because the technology wasn't there to make it the way they were wanting. And in fact, they the only reason they did Samus Returns was because like the guy who directs it, um, I forgot his name, like Sakamoto or something like that. I don't remember. I saw his name. I read his name like 3 days ago. I think he's the guy behind Metroid, which I should know his name. But anyway, he said that the only reason he wanted to do that is to see if it was possible to do Dread. And so, because of the success of Samus Returns, we're getting Dread. And it looks awesome. I cannot wait to play it. And now on to the final two things here that I want to talk about. First one is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, which I am so excited for. It's not one of my favorite Zelda games. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it's still an awesome game, and I cannot wait to play it on Switch. It is so exciting. When they announced it, I was like, yes! And then the last thing here is the Untitled Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Which, okay, so everyone calls it Breath of the Wild 2. And something I have noticed is that when Nintendo talks about it, they call it the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And so everyone's like, I don't like that they're going to call it Breath of the Wild 2. That's stupid. They don't number their games. The only Zelda game that ever has a numbered sequel is Zelda 2. And then ever since then, like Majora's Mask was a sequel, a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. And it wasn't called Ocarina of Time 2. It was called Majora's Mask. And there's a Link Between Worlds is not called Link to the Past 2. And speaking of Oracle, I said it on accident. It's not called Oracle 1, Oracle 2. It's called Oracle of Ages, and then Seasons. There was supposed to be a third one, but they didn't make it. They should go back and make the third one. They couldn't make it because the technological stuff. It was like the technology wasn't there to make a third game to make them connect. They should go back and make that third game they wanted to make. That would be so cool. Well, I read a thing a couple days ago. It said the reason Nintendo isn't announcing the actual title is because it would give it away, which makes sense because the titles of Zelda games, they usually reference something important in the game. Like Wind Waker, that is a very important item in the game. That's you use it to play the game. Oracle, I keep saying it. Ocarina of Time, that's important. And then all the some of the names don't quite give stuff away, like Skyward Sword. That's what does that mean? He's holding it up. He holds everything up. And then Breath of the Wild, it doesn't really tell you anything about the story. So the fact that they're holding off saying the name tells me that it's something important. I cannot wait to hear the name. When they announced, because we all knew that the new Zelda game, we were all calling it Zelda U. We all knew it was going to be completely different than all the other games, and that they kept saying, well, we're taking it back to basics. We're going back to the what makes Zelda game the Zelda game, redefining, reevaluating the conventions that makes it a Zelda game. I was honestly hoping they were going to call it just Legend of Zelda. That would have been so cool. And they announced the name. I was like, But now it kind of makes sense. You don't want two games called Legend of Zelda, because then which one are you talking about? But they were kind of. I'm also not surprised that they didn't reveal the title now, during the E3. It was a 40-minute direct where they talked about a whole bunch of other games and all sorts of stuff. I don't think. The thing that people were excited about, they were expecting Nintendo to announce the title and give more details, or talk about the Zelda anniversary and what they're going to do. They did announce there's going to be a Zelda Game & Watch, like they did with Mario. But they also are expecting Nintendo to announce the new Switch. Personally, I wasn't expecting any of that. because like the Mario anniversary thing got its own direct. And so I'm pretty sure Zelda is going to get its own direct. I'm pretty sure they are working on something. Like, remember, with Mario, we didn't get a direct until later in the year. So we might not get a Zelda direct until later in the year too. And that's for the Switch. I don't think they would just casually drop that in a 40-minute direct. Like, they're talking about all sorts of stuff. And then, oh, by the way, we got a new console. So that might get its own direct too. That's what I'm thinking. I wasn't expecting them to announce anything then. So, yeah, that there were people that were legitimately disappointed, but I would have been surprised if they announced a new Switch during E3, especially during a 40-minute direct already packed with a bunch of other stuff. They want to give that its own attention. That's a big thing. It's a big deal right there. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the E3 2021 episode. There, again, I made the mistake of not following it. I don't know if there was more announced, because I'm just going off the list on the Wikipedia page. So, like the Game & Watch I just mentioned, it's not on this list. I only knew about it because I watched the direct. So, there's probably more that was brought up that I didn't cover because I don't know about it, because I didn't watch it. But next year, if I'm still doing the podcast in here, which I don't see why I wouldn't, but I don't want to make assumptions. During E3, I'm going to actually actively follow it so that I know what I'm talking about. So I don't have that what happened at the beginning of this episode. But for now, I don't know how many more episodes I'm going to do here in Ohio. Because like the current setup I have with the laptop on the bed, laying down, I will admit, this is way more comfortable than how I was doing it before. But it's only going to be for like this episode. I'll probably do one more episode in Ohio, and then I will be in San Francisco. And I'm thinking my first episode in San Francisco, I'll have Emery with me in person. So, yeah. Things are happening. Yay! Anyway, I'm going to end this episode right here.